Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We are now making our final approach and will be landing shortly in the Netherlands. Please ensure your seatbelts are securely fastened, your seatbacks and tray tables.
Hello, I'm your Extra Cat, and Minecraft is changing forever. And in the same way that Netherite upgrades were cheaper if you did them before 1.20, you'll want to get a head start on this drop to make sure that you're fully ready when you actually have the update. Chase the Skies is coming soon, and today I'm going to tell you some things that you should do before it is officially here. And so let's do this a little old school, shall we? And start with one of the simplest things that you can do, but one that you probably haven't thought of, because you should have a big chest or maybe a shulker box which is filled up with string. Because right now, if you want to craft one of the more interesting recipes that exist in Minecraft, you can craft a lead using slime balls and string. It will cost you 1 slime ball for every 4 string, and this is a perfectly fine recipe, but it's about to get cheaper because those slime balls are going to be replaced with string. This means that all you need to have is an abundant amount of string, and you can craft as many leads as you want, which is a really appealing place to be. By the way, we're going to also grab these. If I don't realize that these are just hanging around in this chest, I'm literally going to have a bunch of items that I never even realized. 32 gas tiers. Sorting out your chests right now and looking for any unused or underused string is a really, really good idea, but also it's worth going down into, say, your mob grinders, or if you're like me and have random chests around your world, now is the time to just go and look through them, because you might find some items that are useful, not just for crafting the string into shears. So over here I have my big old string farm. Spiders spawn and are killed. Wait, that's not the right chest. Spiders spawn and are killed by the thing right there. And so this is, but you know, they're killed by the magma and everything works great. So it's really hard to swim up and above there. But here is a chest that I have filled with string. I last emptied it to make some bundles, and now I can empty it to make a bunch of leads after the update. But the same is also true for making harnesses. You'll need wool for that. And also the same is true for the saddle, which will become craftable very soon. That's right, I think that it is really worth considering right now that saddles are going to get so much easier, maybe actually reconsidering how you transport around your world. Obviously when it comes to like big ways you... Should we go to sleep actually? Let's go to sleep while we're down here. Obviously, when it comes to like big ways that you can restructure your world, I think most people are going to be focused very largely, and rightly so, on the happy gas and how that could change their world. But maybe now is the time to consider having multiple horses hanging around your world at different points. Right now, I would say the saddles aren't your biggest demotivator, but they are a reminder that you basically have a fixed number of horses that you can realistically use. And so I have one that sits very nicely in my nether. I guess, is that the best way into the nether from here? I have a horse that sits nicely in my nether, ready for doing certain journeys, but it might now be worth having multiple horses in your nether, if like me you have pathways built for them, or if you have pathways in your overworld, actually breed some horses together. Whether they're your best horses or just fine horses, it's fine, but having more horses ready to ride and knowing that they're a bit more disposable now, because losing the horse is, you know, like usually not the bigger part of losing it. You're usually much more concerned about losing the saddle, and now you don't have to worry so much about that because horses are going to be a lot more replaceable, which is great news for everyone besides this guy. I'm sorry, friend. You know, it's like it's like all of a sudden we've just found out a way to you know, like build £1 cars, and now it's like, well, you better watch out if you have an expensive car now, because everyone else is going to be willing to crash their ones into you. You know, that's basically an exact comparison. That was a perfect analogy. I'm not going to take any more notes on that, but I am going to say that now might therefore be the time to invest in horses, whether that's by making a horse speedometer. I love this. I'll use myself as a horse to prove that I believe in animal rights, but this basically tests how fast a person can go. In this case, when I'm sprinting, I can go somewhere about 5.5 to 5.75 meters per second. That is what matches the Minecraft wiki, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm walking, I'll go about 4. And if I'm riding a horse, I could go anywhere up to 14. But also having little testers for their jumping, maybe even playing around with that jumping. Now is the time to play around with that in my opine. You know, opine is it's a real way that people say opinion, right? But it's a strange way to put it. Speaking of strange ways to put things, I earlier on grabbed all of these gas tiers. There they are. They're in my hotbar. I grabbed all of these gas tiers from my chests, and I know that I probably am unique in being able to be like, oh yeah, there's a valuable item I'm about to need. Better just go search my chests. I guarantee it's lost in there somewhere. Like, I guarantee one of these chests has a bunch of gas tiers in it. I don't know which chest. Is it this one maybe? Or this one? Actually, I bet multiple nether chests here do have them. But if you're me and you can just find ghast tears around your world, great. Go and find your ghast tears now. But if you're not me, or even if you are, but you like your ghast tears exactly where they are, now is the time to be doing the fairly tedious process of killing ghasts. Admittedly, this is actually reverse logic, if I'm going to be honest with you. As someone who absolutely is a massive contrarian, and I consider this, right? I talk all the time about how I make videos that I would like to watch. And so if I was to watch this video of someone telling me I need to do this before the update comes out, I would roll my eyes and go, sure, mate, yeah, I'll totally gonna do that, yeah. And then I wouldn't do it until the update came out, because why am I gonna do stuff before the update comes out? I'll enjoy it when it's done, actually. But there is a real, and especially when it comes to ghasts, you're actually going to get more rewards for killing them later than you will right now. Right now, wait, what happened? I heard a ghast fireball, and is it her? Wait, what? Okay, well, I feel like I must have downloaded a schizophrenia mod at some point. But anyway, the interesting thing is, after the update, if you are to return to Sender a Ghast, you'll actually get a music disc for your troubles. And to be fair, that is worth doing once, maybe thrice, so you can have the disc all over your world. But realistically, most people don't even collect music discs, and so for those people, actually, killing the ghast now or later makes no difference. Get yourself a looting sword, of course, because you want to get... Oh my god, I am... Or get yourself a bow, honestly. Get yourself a looting sword and a firework rocket if you want to really get the best of both worlds here. Okay, try and get me. See how this goes for you. So I'd recommend being away from your builds when you do this. I know, okay. I would also recommend not being above a lava pit, so try and find some happy medium between those two things. But now is the time to be getting yourself ghast tears. This is the most obvious thing to do before the update comes out, because if you want happy ghasts, you can go exploring, and in your old worlds, let's be honest, I think my nearest Soul Sand Valley I haven't explored, it's going to be 1,000 blocks away. So I could travel 1,000 blocks away for the chance of getting a happy ghast, or I could make a gold farm and trade a piglins. For some people, that's their favorite thing to do. Or because I'm a big believer in the analog processes of Minecraft. It is fun to have killed enough ghasts to go on all these ghast tears, to then use those ghast tears to craft some baby ghasts. And so, yeah, as someone who believes in that method personally, yeah, I think that is exactly what I believe. Now is the time to be killing happy ghasts if you intend to craft your ghasts. You also need to get soul sand, but you probably have that lying around. Now's the time is my point, and hopefully you'll listen. Or at least, if you want to be me and be like, yeah, Toycat, you think now's the time to do this? I reckon you're just trying to make a video, and that this just conveniently fits. And there is an interesting thing in that, right? That, like, actually, yeah, I do think that before every update, it's important to put one of these together. Even if it's very minor changes, I think a lot of people don't realize that when you have a long-term survival world, that long-term survival world changes every single update. But there are some things that if you don't do them beforehand, you'll miss out quite severely on the afterhand. And this is one of those updates where instead of a don't do before this update comes out, it is a do this before the update comes out, because there are things that you can benefit from now that you'll benefit from much more in the future. And personally, I think it's cool to actually do it that way round. So say that something sucks now, so do it now because it'll immediately get better and you'll appreciate it. And yeah, that sounds a little bit almost like the gatekeeperism, the sort of, well, you should suffer because I've suffered. But let me show you one of my favorite, I guess least favorite types of suffering. Here is me going backwards from the Let's Play house, and weirdly, as you can see, the beacons aren't rendering anymore. If I stand here, I can see 2 beacons. If I stand here, I can see them all. But if I stand back here, I can see no beacons. Very, very strange. Beacons are going to have a huge change. Right now, beacons exist basically as a flex, or if you want the status effects, you can make a mega beacon, and like me, you can get all 6. It's kind of handy, I guess we could say. But beacons are about to be a major game changer for your world. So, but they are very grindy. You have to kill a lot of wither skeletons to get these. I actually do have on me right now, because I was working on a project to get a lot of these, I actually have on me right now 6 wither skeleton skulls and 5 nether stars. I can craft 5 beacons right here, right now. You know, actually, I'm going to craft 5 beacons right here, right now. We just need glass and obsidian, and I know I've got some glass hanging around here somewhere. Or do I incorrectly know that fact? I think I incorrectly know that I have glass hanging around here somewhere. You know, I'm not going to craft 5 beacons now. I'm going to wait till the update comes out. But more seriously, there is a fun thing here that, like, actually... the Nether Stars and the Wither Skeleton Skulls are both grindy processes. Killing the Wither Skeletons to get the Skulls takes some time. Killing the Withers to get the Nether Stars also takes some time. And do you want to spend your time after an update that focuses around visuals and the Happy Ghast? Do you want to spend that time grinding away? Maybe, in which case do it afterwards. But if you'd like to focus your time on exploring your world, or if you want to focus your time on enjoying the new Happy Ghast, then now is the time to get your hands on some beacons. And in a similar vein, I would say something else you should prepare for. So yeah, I spend a lot of my time on the internet being a contrarian, to a fault, I would say. If we want to do some psychoanalysis and analysis of Toycat on himself. I think that I have a gene inside of me that just says if people are telling me to do something, it must really not be a good idea to do so. And so, you know, to a fault, I have to say, like, oh yeah, I think that people are saying this update only has 2 features in, therefore I want to defend how many features it has by showing you one that a lot of people won't notice, but is, to me, one of the more notable things that exists right now. So inside of this chest, I have a bunch of water-breathing potions, and regeneration potions, and I think fire resistance too, right? And they're all, noticeably, regular potions, ones that you drink. The reason why you want to have drinkable potions is twofold. One is the fact that a drinkable potion, as opposed to a non-drinkable potion, I'll just grab some, I guess I'll use poison and splash poison right now, to prove a really bad point that involves my death. So these potions both have the same length. So in theory, you should want them both equally. I mean, you should, which is negative amounts. You shouldn't want to drink poison. I mean, actually, I would argue a key part of human culture is drinking poison together in pubs and bars. But anyway, the interesting thing here is if I were to drink a potion of poison, I'd get 45 seconds. And right now, if I'm to use this splash potion of poison, if I throw it on my face, it's going to be the same. If I throw it at the ground, it's going to be the same. If you look right here, I'm going to end up with just 32 seconds of that poison effect. I could throw one again on my head and I'd get closer to 40 seconds, but that's weird because didn't the potion say 45 seconds? I'm pretty sure it did. But if we were to drink the poison, we would get all 45 seconds. You know what? Okay, you know what? Let's prove it. Let's drink the poison. As you can see, a full 45 seconds. What happened to those remaining seconds of poison that I paid good money for? I mean, I really hope I didn't pay good money for it. But what happened to those remaining seconds of poison? The answer, simply put, is that splash potions right now, when you splash them... Oh, yeah, we've got regeneration, so you can just literally heal up at the same speed we get poisoned. This is satisfying. This is great. You know, this is why I'm glad we're doing this old-style one-take Let's Play again. Super enjoyable. It's rare that you just get to poison yourself and have it actually contribute to a video, but this is raising some really interesting points, I think. But the reason that works is that right now, splash potions use the middle of your hitbox. Interestingly, this is also true for leads. So I think I have a couple of those hanging around here. Interestingly, the way that leads work right now... Oh, I've got to craft some leads, it looks like. Or realistically, I'll use some from my big Wandering Trader stash. That exists over here. So leads right now also connect to the middle of your body. I'm going to take this one guy, and as you can see, it connects... Actually, it connects to my head, which is stranger than anything else. But basically, Minecraft has to constantly decide where should things be... Where do you start and where do you end? This sounds like a philosophical question, but like, think about your coordinates, for example. Am I at Y70 right now? My feet are, yes, but my head is not. My head is at Y71 because my head, if we look right here, my head is actually a block above my feet. If I put my feet where my head is, they're at Y71, and so therefore you have to decide in every part of Minecraft, where are you? As a 2-block high, 1-block wide person, assuming you're not a Happy Ghast or indeed, even better, assuming you're not Grimace, where all the proportions get massively different, you have to decide where the middle of that person is, and for splash potions, the middle is the middle of your torso, which means you can never get a splash potion perfectly there. You can throw one at your friends and get kind of close. I'm just going to tie you up to a wall there. Enjoy your life there, Mr. Chicken. But you can kind of, if you really want to, you can kind of get close to it and by throwing one at someone else, but you can never get one perfectly on, whereas as they're going to update this in 120, 190, and they're going to make it so any part of your hitbox counts. Throwing a splash potion at your feet or your head will get you the full potion effect because it's touching you directly, and it's a nice little change, if you ask me. Anyway, speaking of nice little changes, now's the time to mention one of the more outlandish claims I'm going to make, which is that shears are more useful than they were before. Right now, if you try to use shears on a mob, you know, if I shear this chicken, I think you could laugh at me for thinking that that was a good idea, right? Is there a chicken in here too? Man, I am covered in chickens, it seems. So yeah, shearing a chicken is a laughably silly idea, but soon it will become reality. Okay, so I want to tie this chicken to the wrong side of the fence, by the way. That's my goal in life here. And it's going to make sense as to why soon. Or maybe it won't, but in either case, I want to do it regardless. So let's tie that chicken to the fence. And okay, it works just about fine there. So, yeah, basically, given that we are about to see a huge change to the way that... given that we're about to see a huge change to the way that leads work, and you're going to be able to shear chickens by shearing leads of them, and shear horses by getting their saddles, their leads, their horse armor of them, I think shears are about to become a more valuable tool. 10% more valuable, 20% more valuable, you tell me. Which means having just this rusty pair of shears you found in a chest once, not going to cut it anymore. Not going to be a good idea anymore, if you ask me. Instead, what you're going to need to do... Also, I think this chest here should be my big string chest. Or is that chest just there to stop me from falling down to the beacon below? I think that's what that's really there for. I need to color this beacon a different color, by the way. If it's going to exist down there, I need to do something about that. Maybe I should also color these in a different way. Is now the right time to make a rainbow beacon? But anyway, staying on topic. Actually, no, not staying on topic. Going delightfully off topic as we have for the entire video, because such is the goal. One could argue. Yeah, I think what would be better than a chest here, even though I might have just put some blocks in it. I think a heavy core would go better there, if only because it's a more interesting item, right? So, let's put the chest down. Whoopsie. Then let's get the chicken in there, because I think that would be fun. Okay, so Mr. Chicken, you're going to have to go down this hole here. I know it feels weird right now, but it's going to make perfect sense once I place this heavy core above you. There we go. Isn't that nice? Because heavy cores are a transparent block, because they're not a full block. Now I can't fall down there, and now if I need another heavy core, I can get one. But still, I'm not going to be falling down any holes anytime soon, which is great. Big fan of that one. So, I should probably put an ominous banner on the side, just so, like, you know, if I look at this, I need to know, like, ooh, it sure is ominous down there. And I think an ominous banner really communicates that fact. Anyway, speaking of communicating facts, now is the time to bring up the next thing that you might want to do to prepare for this update, because weirdly, if leads are getting more valuable, and there's two new forms, and you know, arguably, horses are becoming more valuable, and there's happy ghasts, which you're going to want all over the place, now is the time to think about how you're going to implement happy ghasts into your world. I've actually considered this quite a bit, and I think that there are two things that I would like to do. So, I saw this really fun post on my Reddit of someone who made holes in the roof of their nether, back when that was a bug to do with sea pickles, and they said they're really smart because they made a hole every 1,000 blocks. Nope, actually, 1,000 blocks in a happy ghast is one of the most torturous things you can do. Pro tip, don't do it. But, yeah, I think to myself, like, okay, what is the actual clever version of that? What's something you could do now to be ready for the happy ghast that isn't a glitch that you could only do a few updates ago? I think having a happy ghast storage place is a great idea, and I actually think that one that could really work for me is right here. Because, as you can see, this is, like, just above a lot of my world. If I needed to do building in the sky, it statistically could be around here somewhere. If not directly here, then certainly just behind this. Because over here, so this is my kind of, like, old Let's Play wall that represents the 360 world. Still have most of my builds inside of it, which is fun. But over there is where I have a lot of my very big builds, particularly ones that go up to the ceiling, like my big nether roof. And so maybe right here is the perfect place to have happy ghasts, ready to go if I need to breed some more. And so maybe this is a good place for me to breed a couple, have them on cool, you know, tie them down to a fence. And so is this the right place for that? I think the answer is yes. I'm going to dig myself a hole right now, just to make sure, actually. Yeah, this is like almost the perfect size and space. If we make a 4x4 hole here, we could put like markings on it, but I think literally all I need to do is have this be here. And then if I just put a few fences down, like one there, and one there. Now Happy Ghasts have enough space to be, but also they'll be tied down. And if I harness them, I can get on them very quickly and go out of here. Obviously, I'm lucky in that I have a place in my world that I think is basically perfect for this. But if you don't, now's the time to think about what would be good. And it's also worth thinking about, like, as an example. So the build of mine that will benefit most, more than anything else, from having a Happy Ghast tied to a lead, would probably be this one over here, right? Let's go for a flight. Come up and over. Oh, there we are. Yeah, that's nice. So I think this is the build that would benefit the most from it, because I'm going to have to build a roof for this nether, and I thought to myself for so long, internet. So this is my big multi-year build. I'm making a console edition size nether, and I've finally finished the walls. But I realized while looking at the nether recently, like, oh, you don't see the bedrock in the nether hardly ever. Basically, never, I would say. Look at that rhyming, by the way. I'm really clever, which is why I have to stop, because as someone who doesn't know what else rhymes besides feather, I guess leather. You know, there's a lot of words that rhyme with ever. There's a I'm a really good poet who is not aware. Anyway, with that said, I think that it's important to now say that we've got this big build where I want to have some Happy Ghasts, and I think I want to have those Happy Ghasts be at the top here, ready to go, rather than hanging out down at the bottom, which is why it's a good place for me to grab some netherrack, assuming I have some, and to make like a little Happy Ghast platform somewhere around here, or maybe somewhere around there. I think one of these corners needs to be the Happy Ghast corner, and then on that I could have my fences to keep them tied into one place. I also considered a fun idea might be to take one of my big builds, which right now this is a recycled nether fortress. All of these blocks I mined from a nether fortress. I don't know if that's obvious, but this is a perfect one-to-one use of all of the blocks I got from my mining project. But I could also say, okay, these houses are never going to have villagers in them if it's going to be a nether recreation. So what if instead I take the biggest one of them, probably this one, it's like the ugliest one. Oh no, this is meant to be that nether room. Right, so this isn't a build. This is kind of a villager house, right? But what if I use this house and make a 4x4 hole? That would be probably the best I could do. That would be to take this wall out of the back here. Maybe. But then I could put some walls in here. Or actually, I wouldn't even need to put fences in here. These fences could go away, because simply put, if I want to tie something to something, I can just use these fences. I'm pretty sure you can, actually, let's find out. For some reason, this is the video of Toycat tying chickens to fences. Let's go and do that. So, let's see. I'm 99% sure that you can tie a chicken to a nether brick fence. But it's one of those weird things. Nether brick fences just don't quite work in all of the reasonable ways that you imagine. And you don't realize it until it's too late. So there you go. You can do it. And so if I can tie a chicken to here, and you better believe I shall, therefore. Let's make him a nice little hole. Or you can do what you want, I guess. That means all I've got to do is make a wide enough space on any of these directions for my Happy Ghast to get out of. Well, maybe we could just make the ceiling go loose. If we just remove 4x4 of these blocks, and then put those... Because I think, if you look here, it's like we could do with some extra blocks. Yeah, let's do that. So, four blocks here? Yeah, let's do it. Let's remove the ceiling right over here. And then this gives me a place to store my Happy Ghasts that kind of thematically fits. And also helps me beat the, animal abuse allegations. Because it can't be animal abuse if you give the animals a sofa while you're abusing them. That's just if we look at the way that landlord relations work, that's a proven defense in the court of public opinion. And so therefore, I think that this is actually a delightful renovation. That's how you pronounce that word, I'm very sure. Anyway, with that said, I think that there are other things that you can obviously do if you want to prepare. But yeah, I think that this update coming out it's an interesting one, because to me, the big question is not what I'm going to do after the update comes out. It's what I'm not going to do. I think that this world is not one that makes sense to have vibrant visuals on for, but that's not an option. My ideal would be some worlds have vibrant visuals and some don't. But that's not going to be an option that I have. I'm going to have to go into my video settings and pick one or the other to be on by default and just flip it when I want to. And so, yeah, I have to decide, are all of my worlds going to be vibrant visuals, and therefore this one will join that? Or do I want this world not to be vibrant visuals so much that all the rest are going to have to join it? Honestly, as we have this release scheduled update coming out, a kind of, if you will, a big momentous occasion, I think it is worth asking, you know, if only casually, but it is worth having the discussion, in my opinion, about... Should we grab this ominous banner? We should grab the ominous banner. And then we'll put this one Nevrac away, back in this chest here. We're going to need more Nevrac to actually build the roof of this. It's really sad. I thought I was done placing Nevrac, but we're not. But I think, you know, if we can take a second and really, like, chill and think. This is a special occasion. This update coming out, even if we're doing drops now and it's every 3 months, it's a big thing. Minecraft's going to change in a big way. And I've always been a big believer that no matter how non-special an update feels before it comes out, there's always a little bit of speciality afterwards, right? And but this is the opposite of how I treat my normal life. I am excited for this update, even if I'm confused by this update, right? But I think a lot of things in my real life, if I'm either excited for them or I am confused by them. And realistically, I don't get excited for many events in the world, which I've always taken to be a good thing. I love that I don't have to be excited for things because I put a lot of work into making sure that every day is as good as it can be. I took a big, it's one of my big life philosophies, I would say, is that, like, yeah, a lot of people will spend their time waiting for big, good moments. But, like, if I want to go to a nice restaurant, I shouldn't wait till I have to celebrate something. I'll go because I want to go. Or if I want to, you know, go away, I used to travel, in the early days of this channel, I would just, like, 2 weekends a month, although I would take, like, Tuesday to Thursday. I'd just be like, let's just travel somewhere. Like, it's a thing that's important to me. Let's do it. Let's not say there's a once-a-year holiday or twice-a-year holiday and get all your friends involved and try and make it a big ordeal. Instead, it'd be like, no, if you want to do the thing, do the thing. Make every day as special as it can be, and then you don't need to have special days anymore. I believed in that a lot, I think. And it's not a bad thing to believe, to be clear. But I think that actually... As I heard someone say this themselves. I heard someone use the exact same logic I just used on you, and they were using it to defend why they don't really celebrate occasions. And as I heard someone else say the same argument that I thought in my head forever, I was like, well, that's dumb, isn't it? Actually, you know what it sounds like when you say that is that, oh yeah, you just don't do big occasions, but big occasions are where cool things happen. I think even if you want to say, yeah, there's something you've got to look forward to every single week, I think life is better when you look forward to things, even if by implicitly doing that, you have to say that you're... Also, should we go to the Nether and check up on our horse? Let's go check up on him, actually. I think that's an important thing for me to do. So let's go do precisely that. This is not the Nether. My Nether portal is right over here. But yeah, I kind of realized recently, you know, as such a contrarian, I heard someone who agreed with me, and I still disagreed with them. I heard someone who had my exact same opinion, and I thought, you know, maybe more events should be special. Maybe some things in life... oh, fun level lag there. Maybe some things in life do have to be special, even though you could make them not so. It's better to choose to have a little bit of fanfare about it. And I feel this way about some of the things I feel about, like, Minecraft. I really enjoyed recently making a big deal of, like, oh yeah, a new version of the game came out. Let's enjoy it together. I enjoy making a big deal if a brand new update's coming out, so we're going to do some special things in our world. I'm so glad I have fireworks. I would just be dead if I did not. I enjoy making a big deal of all of these things. And I think that, weirdly, that is something that I should learn from my real world. I think there's a lot of things we can learn about from Minecraft to do with preparedness. But I think I'm going to learn about how excited I am about updates and how much that actually improves them in the end run. And I'm going to use that knowledge to hopefully make myself be more excited about things in the real world, even if needlessly so. And hopefully that helps me out in the... I really should not have picked up all of these strings, by the way. I do not know what I was thinking. Please don't blow these up. Okay, I'm gonna put that ominous banner down. And there we go. I'm going to get my hands on as many ghast tears as I can, because I think that, even if only for a fun gimmick, even if it's not that good of a mob in the long run, I think I'm going to craft a few happy ghasts. I'm going to try and use them wherever I can for the first week or so, and then we'll see how it feels after that. But that is fun to me. It is fun that there is a little special occasion. There's a new set of mobs, a new set of blocks and things for me to do. And, yeah, I'm going to try and do the same with my real-world life in all sorts of other veins. To do with travel, and honestly to do with the rest of my life. I think being like... My birthday is coming up. I'm about to hit a very big milestone. I'm wildly... I fluctuate back and forth between depressed and horrified that I'm about to turn 30. But I am, and just like how this video has turned 30, I think it's something that I should make a big deal out of. And I should say, nope, that's too far. That's the end of it. But, like, not that with my real world. Anyway, I'm going to go kill some happy ghasts, or some very unhappy ghasts. You can do whatever you want if you've learned it from this video. I hope that you did enjoy it. I know that statistically, a higher than average number of people drop out when there are no edits or cuts in the video. But if you watched all this way through, thank you. I appreciate you. You're the real one. You're invited to my digital birthday party. And, yeah, I hope that you have a good rest of your day, because I'll see you in the next one. Okay. Good night. Yeah, it's like 11:40 p.m. right now.